Think you know your family? I'm your host, and this is the Backseat Redditor. Let's dive in. Today, we've got 3 stories that prove you can't trust anyone.
My sister announced her pregnancy with my husband. I, 28F, always knew my younger sister, Chloe, 22F, was jealous of me. I married Derek, 32M, a wealthy real estate developer in LA. We have the Malibu beach house, the Tesla, the perfect life. Chloe? She's a college dropout who crashes on our couch between modeling gigs. Last night was my 28th birthday dinner. The whole family was there. My parents, Derek's parents, and Chloe. The wine was flowing. Derek was being the perfect husband, holding my hand, kissing my neck. Then, Chloe stood up. She tapped her champagne glass with a fork. "I have an announcement," she slurred, a wicked smile on her red lips. She looked directly at me, then shifted her gaze to Derek. "I didn't bring a gift, Sarah. But I'm giving you a nephew. I'm pregnant." My mom squealed. "Oh my God. Who is the father?" Chloe didn't blink. She pointed a manicured finger at my husband. "Ask him, Mom. Ask Derek." The room went deadly silent. Derek dropped his fork. His face turned ghost white. Chloe rubbed her flat stomach and smirked. "Happy birthday, sis. We're going to be sister wives." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just looked at Derek. "Is it true?" I whispered. Derek couldn't even look me in the eye. He just put his head in his hands and whispered, "It was one night. I was drunk. She came into our room when you were on that business trip." The dinner ended in chaos. My dad punched Derek. My mother-in-law fainted. I kicked them all out. Except Derek. I needed details. I sat on the edge of our king-sized bed while Derek cried on the floor. "Tell me everything," I demanded. Derek confessed. It wasn't one night. It had been going on for 3 months. Chloe had been seducing him right under my nose. He told me how it started. I was working late. Chloe walked around the house in my silk robes, accidentally leaving the bathroom door open. She played the innocent, lonely girl who needed a strong man's advice. "She made me feel like a king, Sarah," Derek sobbed. "You're always so busy, so perfect." Chloe was wild. She let me do things you never would. I felt disgusted. My sister used her body to steal my life. But then, Chloe sent me a text message. A picture. It was a photo of a positive pregnancy test next to Derek's watch on a hotel nightstand. Text, "He loves me, Sarah. He's going to leave you. Don't fight it. Just sign the divorce papers and give us the house." She didn't just want him. She wanted my money. She wanted my life. But Chloe forgot one thing. I'm not just a trophy wife. I'm the one who handles the finances. The next morning, Chloe arrived at the house with moving boxes. She literally thought she could move in. "Derek needs to take care of his son," she said, pushing past me. "Move over, old news." Derek stood there, looking torn. He looked at Chloe's young body, then at me. "Sarah," he said weakly. "She's carrying my child. I have to do the right thing." I started laughing. A cold, hard laugh. I walked to the safe in my office and pulled out a medical file. I threw it on the table. "Read it, Derek," I said. Derek opened the file. It was a medical report from Dr. Evans, urologist. Dated 2 years ago. Procedure, vasectomy. Post-op analysis, 0 sperm count, sterile. Derek looked confused. I had this done. "I never told you because I didn't want to disappoint you." He looked at Chloe. "I'm sterile, Chloe. I've been shooting blanks for 2 years." Chloe's face dropped. The smug smile vanished. "That's a lie," she screamed. "The doctor made a mistake. It's yours." "No," I said, stepping closer to her. "It's not his." "So the question is, Chloe, who have you been sleeping with? Because you definitely cheated on my cheating husband." Chloe was trapped. Derek looked at her with pure hatred. "You lied," he roared. "You destroyed my marriage for a lie? I am pregnant." Chloe cried, backing into a corner. I swear. I thought it was yours. Who else, Chloe? I demanded. Who else were you sleeping with while you were screwing my husband? She wouldn't speak. But then, the front door opened. It was Derek's father. Mr. Sterling, 60M. The billionaire patriarch of the family. He walked in, looking grim. She's telling the truth about being pregnant, Mr. Sterling said, his voice deep and authoritative. We all looked at him. Dad? Derek asked. How do you know? Mr. Sterling sighed and pulled out a checkbook. He looked at Chloe with a mix of lust and shame. Because she came to me first, he admitted. She came to my office last month. She told me she needed money. One thing led to another. My jaw hit the floor. My sister wasn't just sleeping with my husband. She was sleeping with his father. Chloe had targeted the entire bloodline. She was trying to pin the baby on Derek because he was younger and easier to manipulate, but the baby belonged to the 60-year-old billionaire. Derek looked like he was going to vomit. You slept with my dad? And me? At the same time? Chloe shrugged, wiping her tears. I needed security, Derek. You were taking too long to leave Sarah. The room was filled with the stench of betrayal. Father against son. Sister against sister. Derek looked at me, pleading. Sarah, baby, please. She tricked us all. I'll kick her out. I'll never speak to my dad again. Please, let's start over. I looked at my husband, the cheater. I looked at my sister, the predator. I looked at my father-in-law, the pervert. No, I smiled. I don't think so. I pulled out my phone. I've been recording this entire conversation, I revealed. California is a two-party consent state, but not when there is evidence of a felony crime like extortion or fraud. And Chloe just admitted to paternity fraud. I turned to Mr. Sterling. If you don't want this recording sent to your wife and the board of directors, you're going to buy me out. I want the house. I want $5 million cash. And I want a divorce. Mr. Sterling paled. He nodded immediately. Done. I turned to Derek. You get nothing. You signed a prenup with a cheating clause. You're homeless. And finally, I looked at Chloe. And you? Enjoy raising a baby with a grandfather who hates you. You wanted to be a Sterling? Congratulations. You're the family embarrassment now. I walked out of that beach house with my head high. I lost a husband and a sister that day. But I walked away with $5 million and my freedom. Sometimes, the trash takes itself out. You just have to open the door.
A DNA test is destroying my life. I, 50M, have always been the outsider. The tall, lanky intellectual in a family of short, stocky, blue-collar brawlers. My family history was always a blur of alcohol-fueled tall tales. My dad, God rest his violent soul, used to brag that our ancestors were outlaws who came to America fleeing the hangman's noose in England. We were survivors, he'd say. We take what we want. I always felt disconnected. So, last month, mostly out of boredom and a midlife crisis, I ordered a DNA test. I wanted to see the map. I wanted to see if I was Irish, German, or just a generic American mutt. I ticked the box that said, allow matching with relatives. I figured, why not? Maybe I'd find a distant cousin who wasn't in prison, unlike my brother, Rick. The results came back 3 days ago. I sat in my dark living room, whiskey in hand, and logged in. The map was standard. British Isles, Scandinavia. But the family tree? That was where my reality fractured. My dad had taken a test years ago, right before the cancer took him. My mom made him do it 4 health screenings. His profile was there in the database. Match strength, 0%. Relationship, no relation. My stomach dropped. Okay, so mom had an affair. It happens. I was born in 1974, the 70s were wild. I could handle being a bastard. But then I looked at the siblings tab. There was one match. A half-sister. Name, Kate. Shared DNA, 26%, half-sibling. Age, 40. I did the math. I am 50. Kate is 40. If we share a father, that means my biological dad, whoever he is, had another kid. But the site linked us through the maternal line. We shared a mother. I froze. I lived in that house when I was 10 years old. My mother was never pregnant when I was 10. There was no baby bump. No hospital visits. No baby Kate. If my mother had a child in 1984, she didn't have it publicly. I messaged Kate immediately. Hi. The site says we are half siblings. I think there's a mistake. I lived with my mother my whole life. She only has 2 sons, me and my brother Rick. Who are you? I expected confusion. Instead, Kate replied 2 minutes later. You're the one who stayed. Oh my God. I thought you were dead. Do not talk to your mother. Is she still alive? Is she still in the house on Elm Street? She knew the street. She knew the house. And she called me the one who stayed. Which implies there were others who didn't. I didn't reply to Kate. I got in my car. I needed to see my brother, Rick. Rick is currently serving 15 years in a state penitentiary for aggravated assault and manslaughter. He was always the true son of my father, violent, angry, loyal. I was the black sheep because I read books and didn't like hunting. I sat behind the glass partition. Rick looked old. Hard. I took a DNA test, Rick, I said. Rick's eyes, usually dead and cold, widened. He leaned in, lowering his voice. You idiot. Why would you do that? Dad isn't my dad, I whispered. And I have a sister named Kate. She says I'm the one who stayed. What does that mean, Rick? Rick laughed. It was a dry, broken sound. You really don't know, do you? You walked around that house with your head in the clouds, thinking we were just a normal, messed up poor family. He looked around to make sure the guards weren't listening. Mom wasn't just a housewife, John. In the 70s and 80s, before the internet, before cameras everywhere, Mom ran a service. A service? Girls came to the house, Rick said, his voice trembling. Girls in trouble. Pregnant girls. Runaways. They came to the basement. Mom was a nurse, remember? Only she lost her license in '72. She helped them deliver them. My blood turned to ice. She ran an illegal abortion clinic? Rick shook his head. No. That would have been mercy. She ran a baby farm. She delivered the babies. If the babies were healthy, she sold them. Adoption off the books. 10 grand a pop. If the babies weren't healthy, or if the mothers made a fuss. He trailed off. What about me? I asked, tears stinging my eyes. Why am I here? Rick looked at me with pity. You weren't sold, John. You were the trophy. You were the only one pretty enough that Mom decided to keep for herself. Dad wasn't your dad. Your dad was probably some college kid who got a girl in trouble and paid Mom to make the problem go away. Mom killed the girl, John. And she kept you. I drove home, vomiting on the side of the highway twice. My entire life was a lie. I wasn't just adopted. I was stolen. My biological mother wasn't an affair, she was a victim. Murdered in the basement of the house I grew up in. I pulled into the driveway of my childhood home. My mother still lives there. She's 75, riddled with cancer, pumped full of morphine, dying in the master bedroom. But I didn't go to her room. I went to the basement. It was filled with old boxes, Christmas decorations, Dad's old tools. But Rick had told me where to look. Under the chest freezer. I shoved the heavy freezer aside. The concrete floor underneath was different. Newer. Or patched. I took a sledgehammer from Dad's workbench. I swung. Crack. The concrete gave way. It wasn't dirt underneath. It was a plastic bin. Sealed with duct tape. Inside were files. Not bodies, thank God. Just files. Ledgers. I opened the first one. 1974, entry 1, baby boy. Mother, Sarah J., status, kept. Price, $0. That was me. Sarah J. My mother's name was Sarah. I flipped to 1984. Entry 45, baby girl. Mother, unknown runaway. Status, sold to K. Miller, Oregon. Price, $15,000. That was Kate. I read through the ledger. There were 60 entries over 20 years. Sold. 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 And then, the chilling entries. Disposed. There were 12 entries marked disposed. Beside one of the disposed entries, there was a note in my dad's handwriting, burn pit behind the shed. Lie. I wasn't just living in a house of lies. I was living in a graveyard. My phone buzzed. It was Kate. I'm in town. I tracked your IP. I'm outside. Kate looked like me. Same eyes. Same jawline. She stood on the porch, shaking. She wasn't alone, she had a man with her. A private investigator. We need to go to the police, Kate said. Now. No, I said, my voice hollow. First, I need to hear her say it. I took Kate upstairs. The smell of rotting flesh and medicine filled the hallway. My mother lay in bed, a skeleton with skin. She opened her eyes. They were cloudy. John, she rasped. Is that you? Who is Sarah J? I asked. Mom flinched. The heart monitor beeped faster. Who told you that name? Rick told me. And the ledger in the basement told me. And she is telling me. I pulled Kate forward. Mom looked at Kate. She didn't look confused. She looked terrified. The Miller girl, Mom whispered. You were a crier. I almost suffocated you to make you stop. Kate sobbed, covering her mouth. I leaned over the bed. You killed my mother. Sarah J. You killed her. Mom smiled. It was a wicked, drug-induced grin. She was trash, John. She came to me begging to get rid of you. She didn't want you. I wanted you. You were perfect. Blonde, blue eyes. I knew you'd grow up tall. My husband, he couldn't give me that. So you killed her? I kept what was valuable, she hissed. I burned the rest. Your father, the man who raised you, he did the dirty work. But I was the business. We built this life for you. We made you respectable. She reached out a bony hand to touch my face. I saved you from the trash, John. You should be thanking me. I recoiled. You didn't save me. You stole me. I looked at Kate. Call the cops. The next 6 hours were a blur of flashing lights, crime scene tape, and forensic units. When they dug up the backyard, behind the old shed where I used to play with my toy trucks, they found them. Bone fragments. Teeth. The remains of the disposed. The police confirmed there were at least 7 distinct DNA profiles in the soil. One of them matched the maternal DNA of Sarah Jenkins, a girl who went missing in 1974. My mother. My adoptive mom died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. She never faced a judge. She escaped judgment one last time. Rick was transferred to a maximum security unit for his role as an accomplice. He admitted to helping dig the holes when he was a teenager. I sat on the curb as they wheeled the body bags out of the yard. Kate sat next to me. What do we do now? She asked. I don't know, I said. I don't have a name. John is the name she gave me. My last name belongs to a murderer. Kate handed me a folder the PI had found. Your mother, Sarah, she wasn't trash. She was 19. She was a college student. She was raped at a frat party. She ran away because her religious parents kicked her out. She came here looking for help. She wrote letters to her sister about you. She loved you. She named you Ethan. I closed my eyes. Ethan. I wasn't the unwanted trash of a stranger. I was the beloved son of a girl who fought for me until her last breath. I stood up and looked at the house. The family home. The police were done with the inside. I walked to the kitchen. I turned on the gas stove. I didn't light it. I walked out, leaving the door open. I took a road flare from my trunk. Kate grabbed my arm. John. Ethan, don't. Let the state handle it. I looked at her. The state handles criminals. Fire handles evil. I didn't throw the flare. I'm not my father. I'm not a killer. I turned off the gas. I locked the door. I handed the keys to the officer. Burn it down, I told the cop. Legally. Just raze it to the ground. I don't want a penny from the insurance. I am 50 years old. I have no parents. My brother is a monster. My childhood was a crime scene. But I have a sister. And I have a name. My name is Ethan. And for the first time in my life, I know exactly who I am. AITA for asking my friend to take down her bachelorette party photos? I, 23F, have always lived my life by a strict code. Modesty isn't just a cloth I wear, it's my identity, my protection, and my covenant with God. My hijab is my choice. But even the most devout soldier needs to take off their armor sometimes. That's what Maya's bachelorette party was supposed to be. A sanctuary. Maya, 24F, has been my best friend since we were 5. She's the wild child to my reserved nature. She's marrying Liam, a wealthy tech entrepreneur who I never really liked. There was always something cold in his eyes, but Maya loved him. The party was at a private penthouse suite Maya rented. No men. No phones allowed, supposedly. Just 5 of us girls. Because it was women only, I did something I rarely do outside my home. I took off my hijab. I took off the abaya. Underneath, I was wearing a silk slip dress, something I bought just to feel beautiful for myself. My hair, which reaches my waist, tumbled down. Maya gasped. God, Amira, you're hiding a masterpiece under there. It's a crime. We laughed. We danced. We drank mocktails while the other girls had wine. I noticed Maya was taking a lot of photos on her DSLR camera. Don't worry, she promised, seeing my hesitation. These are for the physical scrapbook only. Nothing goes online. I swear. I believed her. I let my guard down. I let her photograph me laughing, my hair wild, my shoulders bare. I felt free. We fell asleep in the living room, a pile of blankets and limbs. The next morning, I drove home feeling refreshed. Then, my phone buzzed. A notification from Instagram. At Maya_Brighttobe tagged you in a post. I opened it. My blood ran cold. It wasn't just a group photo. It was a carousel. And the third photo was a candid of me. My head thrown back laughing, my hair cascading down my bare back, the strap of my slip dress falling off my shoulder. It was intimate. It was revealing. And it was public. Panic is a physical weight. I felt it crushing my chest. I called Maya immediately. She didn't pick up. I texted, Maya, please take that down now. You know I can't show my hair. Anyone can see that. 10 minutes later, she replied, LOL, relax. You look hot. It's the best picture of me in the slide, I'm not deleting it. No one cares about your hair, Amira. It's 2024. I checked the comments. They were already rolling in. Random men. Friends of the groom. Who is the girl in the black dress? Smiling face with hard eyes. Damn, never knew Amira looked like that. Maya, intro me to your friend. I felt violated. It wasn't just hair, it was the sexualization of my body that I had fought so hard to keep private. I begged her again. Crop me out. Blur me. Please. Instead of helping, she took a screenshot of my texts and posted them to our bridesmaid group chat. Maya, guys, is Amira being dramatic or what? She wants me to delete my engagement announcement because of hair. I'm so stressed with the wedding next week. The group chat exploded. Half the girls, the ones who didn't like me, sided with Maya. Don't be selfish, Amira. It's her week. You look good, take the compliment. But then, I got a direct message on Instagram. It wasn't from a friend. It was from an account with 0 followers and no profile picture. Message, that's a nice photo. But the video is better. My heart stopped. Me, what video? User, the one from the vent in the bedroom. Nice silk dress. I dropped my phone. Video? Bedroom? I thought back to the night. I had changed into my pajamas in the guest bedroom. I thought I was alone. I picked up the phone, my hands shaking uncontrollably. Me, who is this? User, a fan. Check this link. It's behind a paywall, but since you're the star, you should see it. I clicked the link. I shouldn't have. But I had to know. It took me to a dark web forum. A thread titled, Modest Muslim Girl Unveiled Exclusive Leak. There were photos. Not the ones Maya took. These were grainy, high-angle shots. Looking down from the ceiling. Looking out from a bookshelf. There were videos of me changing. Videos of me sleeping. There were hundreds of comments. Vile, disgusting comments bidding on more footage. And the user who posted them? Groomzilla69. I threw up in my sink. This wasn't an accident. Maya posting the Instagram photo wasn't just vanity. It was marketing. She posted the teaser on Instagram to drive traffic to the site. I drove to Maya's apartment. I didn't call. I didn't text. I banged on her door until she opened it. She looked annoyed, holding a glass of wine. Amira, if you're here to bitch about the photo again, I shoved her inside and locked the door. I pulled up the website on my phone and shoved it in her face. Explain this, Maya. Explain why there were hidden cameras in the penthouse. Maya's face went pale. The glass of wine slipped from her hand and shattered on the floor. She didn't deny it. She just started crying. He made me do it, she whispered. I grabbed her shoulders. Who? Liam? Maya collapsed onto the sofa, sobbing. Liam, he has a problem. He's obsessed with you, Amira. He has been for years. The modest thing drives him crazy. He says he wants to see what no one else can see. I felt dirty. Every time Liam had smiled at me, every time he had been polite, he was undressing me in his mind. He told me he'd call off the wedding, Maya confessed, her voice trembling. He said if I didn't get him content for the bachelor party, he'd leave me. He's in debt, Amira. He sells the videos. He said you'd fetch a high price because you're untouchable. So you sold me out? I screamed. To save your wedding? To pay his debts? I didn't think he'd put it online, she pleaded. He said it was just for him. I posted the Instagram photo because he told me to soft launch you. He said if I didn't, he'd leak the changing room video to your parents. My parents. My conservative, religious parents. If they saw those videos, it wouldn't just be shame. It would destroy them. Maya wasn't a friend. She was a trafficker. She lured me into a trap so her perverted fiancé could profit off my violation. Delete it, I said, my voice deadly calm. Delete everything. Get him to scrub the site. I can't, she wailed. He has the master files. He's at his bachelor party right now. They're watching it tonight. It's the main event. Rage. Pure, cold rage replaced my fear. Liam was showing videos of me undressing to a room full of men right now. Where is the bachelor party? I asked. Maya hesitated. Where is it, Maya? The Sapphire Lounge. Private room in the back. I didn't go to the police yet. The police are slow. The internet is fast. I needed to stop the showing. I drove to the Sapphire Lounge. I was still wearing my abaya and hijab. I looked like a ghost walking into a den of sin. I walked past the bouncers. I didn't look at anyone. I found the private room. I could hear them cheering inside. I kicked the door open. There were 20 men. Liam was sitting on a leather chair, a cigar in one hand, a remote in the other. On the giant projector screen was me. My bare back. My hair. The room went silent. Liam looked at me. He didn't look ashamed. He smiled. A sick, predatory smile. Speak of the devil, he slurred. Come to give us a live show, Amira? I pulled out my phone. I had already dialed 911. But I wasn't just calling the police. I held up my phone. I was live streaming. To Facebook. To Instagram. To the bridal group chat. To his business partners. Say hello to the world, Liam, I said, my voice shaking but loud. Everyone is watching you watching me. Liam scrambled to turn off the projector, but it was too late. The feed caught the screen. It caught his face. It caught the faces of every man in that room laughing at a non-consensual recording. I looked at the camera. My name is Amira. This man, Liam, and his fiancée Maya, placed hidden cameras in a bachelorette party to sell footage of women without their consent. Maya is an accomplice. Liam is a predator. I ended the stream. Liam lunged at me. You ruined my life. He didn't reach me. The bouncers, realizing what was happening, and not wanting to be accessories to a felony, grabbed him. Aftermath: the wedding didn't happen. Liam is currently awaiting trial for voyeurism, distribution of non-consensual pornography, and extortion. His tech company fired him the next day. Maya is facing charges as an accessory. She tries to call me from jail sometimes. I blocked the number. The videos are still out there. Once something is on the dark web, it never truly leaves. I had to move cities. I had to change my name. I still wear my hijab. But now, I don't wear it just for God. I wear it because I know what monsters look like. And I know they are often the people smiling next to you in the photos. Am I the asshole for ruining the wedding? No. I just burned down the slaughterhouse. Which story shocked you the most? Drop a comment below. I read every single one. If you want more daily Reddit tea, hit that subscribe button to join the Backseat Redditor.